Hello, I'm Elijah Henderson with Cryptid Studies Institute. As in the past, when we become aware of a new sighting or encounter, or even an old one for that matter, we'll do our very best to bring you a mini report or episode that we've taken to calling Nightmare Nuggets. Today's episode brings us all the way to East Tennessee to report on a creature or entity that has been bringing terror to one small community since the 1860s. On the outskirts of Hamilton County, just off Highway 27, winding its way from Doherty Ferry Road to Providence Road, you'll find a stretch of land that is known as Shipley Hollow. But since the 1800s, it has been known by residents and many a frightened traveler as Pitty Pat Holler, because of the sounds of the creature or entity's footfalls that make a soft pitty-pat, pitty-pat, pitty-pat noise on the roadway as it bears down on you. The landscape is dark and foreboding, and many of those that live in the area try to avoid traveling through there after darkness falls. Growing up there, my father lived in a neighboring holler, and while neither he nor any member of his family had experienced any of the terrors that plague travelers who dared to ignore the warnings not to go there after dark, he did hear the old members of the community telling of the strange things going on there in Shipley Holler. People would warn that if you traveled through there at night, sometimes you would be pursued by some sort of creature that would literally attack you and jump on your horse, bike, car, wagon, or any other means by which you may choose to travel. The assailant would follow and track you if you traveled by foot. Many who traveled this way would run as fast as they could to try and get out of the area faster, because they knew that if you heard those terrible pitty-pat noises coming up behind you, that you were about to have a really bad night. Local lore says that in the late 1800s, a young woman and her two small children were passing through the holler one night when their wagon was attacked, frightening the horses pulling them along. The horses were so terrified that they, in a frightened run, ran off the road and crashed the wagon, killing the woman, and it is said that the children were taken and presumed killed by the creature. Another incident involved a doctor named Downey, traveling on horseback to see a patient after dark, was attacked when the creature jumped on the horse and attacked him. Dr. Downey's horse began to buck and kick, and managed to shake free the beast that now had burdened him down. The doctor rushed onward to the patient's home and refused to leave until morning. It became commonplace to have guests come banging on your door at all hours, seeking refuge because they had been stalked by the pitty-pat creature. So far as I know, no one has ever gotten a great look at the beast or entity because of the intense darkness there in the holler at night. The best description that I've heard is that it is big and black, and someone else thought it seemed cat-like. Even today, people fear to be on that frightening thoroughfare after dark, and those who are wiser will play it safe and stay out of that holler after the onset of evening. After my father living in the area and seeing the fear in people's eyes as they spoke of the pitty-pat, we're going to play it safe and make our way out before we hear that terrible pitty-pat, pitty-pat, pitty-pat. Until next time, I'm Elijah Henderson of Cryptid Studies Institute, and I sincerely hope you've enjoyed this episode of Nightmare Nuggets of Cryptid Terror. And if you like these true accounts in miniature episode form, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Cryptid Studies Institute. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, go and look at our website, cryptidstudiesinstitute.com. Drop us a line and tell us what you think and how we can improve ourselves. If we get something wrong, don't get mad at us, but rather educate us. If you'd like to be a guest on our blog talk radio show, we'd love to have you. Or if you've had an encounter with some kind of a cryptid like a Sasquatch, Dogman, Skinwalker, or something else, or even a supernatural experience and you'd like to tell us about it, we'd love to hear your story. If you'd like for us to read your account for you, then please drop us a line and we'll make that happen.